A little while ago, I read Greg McKeown's book, Essentialism, and lately I've been thinking a lot about it. So I just wanted to share my thoughts and takeaways from this book and essentialism in general. I've also mentioned many times the idea of being a minimalist with my time and decisions, and that is almost exactly what essentialism focuses on. But first, if you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. Here we talk about minimalism, building good habits, and things of that nature. So if that sounds good to you and you end up liking the video, be sure to like and consider subscribing. I also wanted to mention that I do have my email in the description box and my About tab. If you wanted to contact me about video topics or just anything in general, just feel free to do so. Now, let's get started. Now, the first thing I wanted to share about essentialism is the idea of creating time for space in my life. No matter how busy I may be, I think it's incredibly important to set aside time for me to do whatever I want to do. Even if that means doing something that seems completely unproductive or lazy. It's kind of the same thing as when you take a few days off from working out. You find that when you get back to it, you're just a little bit stronger, or you find yourself lifting more. We've all heard about burnout, but don't necessarily understand what it means until we start to feel it for ourselves. Most of you guys watching at home are in the same boat as me, balancing work, school, a social life, along with many other things. As much as I preach about cutting back on things to do, I also understand and accept that certain times in my life are much busier than others, and for good reason. Whether it's watching one of my shows, going out for a walk, doing some type of outdoor activity, or just taking a nap. I make sure that I schedule some time for myself to allow my mind to decompress and recover from the busy days before. Now, the next point about essentialism that I really like is I was able to realize that I have a choice. Something that I seem to forget more often than not is I have the choice to do what I want or don't want to do with my time. So often I say yes to things out of what I feel like is an obligation, and just forgetting that a lot of times I have the option to say no to something. One quote that I really liked from the book Essentialism: "The ability to choose can never be given away, but it can only be forgotten." This quote really spoke to me because, like I said, in most cases, I forgot I had a choice. I remember quitting a job that I really hated when I was just 19, and it felt amazing. But not just because I didn't have to go back to the job, but it was the fact that the decision was completely in my own hands, and it made me feel like I have some type of control over what I want to do with my time. And that thought has stuck with me ever since. Because no matter how stuck I feel at a certain time or situation, just knowing in the back of my head somewhere that I can really just walk away from something, it makes everything that's uncomfortable a little easier to bear with. You know, as I write this video, I can't help but think of how much I put things off I want to do for one reason or another. I have to remind myself that sometimes I can and should say yes to things, and not always no. I'm going to start planning something. Another point about essentialism that I'm working on is setting boundaries for myself. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the last point I made. I think this one's really important because a lot of us, including myself, have been put in less than ideal situations because we are afraid to say no or upsetting somebody. I'm trying to take this point of setting boundaries for myself very serious, even if that means coming off a little selfish. I mentioned a few videos ago how I have my own personal flowchart for decision making, and something similar applies here. I just have my own personal list of deal breakers that if they interfere with my time doing something I want to do, chances are I won't do it. Like I said, this might come off a little selfish, but when it comes to our time and our energy, I think it's okay to be a little selfish. One quality I never wanted to have was to be the person that agrees to do something but complains about it or is miserable doing it the entire time. I mean, we're all guilty of doing that, but I'm working on it. There are definitely a few more points about essentialism that I can talk about, but I think I'll save those for another video. The main takeaway here is that essentialism is definitely helped me identify where my priorities should be in life and helping me make clear decisions. Anyways, as always, I really do appreciate your time watching this video. If you did like it and you do like this type of content, be sure to like and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you next time.